Hey, Lions fans! Welcome back to the channel, your go-to source for everything Detroit Lions. Today, we have several things to talk about, and all big. So, let's start it off with the headlining story about Ezekiel Elliott possibly added to the Lions roster. Then, let's jump into some exciting updates about Jared Goff performing like crazy and what it means for the team. Finally, to wrap it all up, let's look at rookie superstar Jahmyr Gibbs and how he is changing things up on the field. So now, sit back, relax, and let us dive into the latest Lions news. The first story is about the latest buzz, the Detroit Lions and their connection to veteran running back Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys recently released Elliott, and it seems like everyone is talking about him. Once heralded the top running back in the NFL, it sparked discussions about which team would benefit most from having him. Recently, NFL commentator Emmanuel Acho even suggested that the best fit for Elliott would probably be the Detroit Lions, since they could have him boost their offense heading to a deep playoff run. Ultimately, experience is indeed Elliott's greatest asset. During his years in Dallas, he proved to be one of the best, most reliable options in short yardage. Be it breaking through stacked defensive lines or converting on third and shorts, Elliott has demonstrated a knack for success at pivotal moments. This ability might give the Lions an advantage star-wise along with games that matter, especially as they seek to build their power within NFC North. His physicality and power-running style would complement the speed and agility of the current backfield, creating a more dynamic and well-rounded rushing attack. Currently, the Lions have an impressive running back cadre, which includes free agent David Montgomery and exciting rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. Montgomery's always been a reliable workhorse, while Gibbs has enthralled fans with spectacular playmaking ability. Adding a guy like Elliott to that cadre would give Detroit depth most teams in the league would be unable to match. In addition, one must not forget that Elliott has the ability to catch passes. Keeping quarterback Jared Goff clean in the Lions' passing game, especially in crucial times, will be critical to their hopes of going into the playoffs. The move raises some questions, however. One of the more important questions is whether someone like Elliott, who has spent his career as a feature back, would be okay with being part of a secondary or rotational unit in Detroit. The Lions clearly have a system with their current offense, and considering a significant adjustment to incorporate Elliott into that system may have other unintended consequences. Will he be comfortable sharing his touches with Montgomery and Gibbs? There is also the question of economics. At this evolution of his career, Elliott might need to amend expectations of his role and level of salary. How much would the Lions want to pay for a player that seems to still not be the main option in his backfield? An important question is how Elliott slots into the overall culture of the Lions. As reiterated by Coach Dan Campbell, he has an entire team-first mentality, full of players who buy into the system. Elliott's reputation as a hard worker and team player screws with that vision by Campbell. Still, any addition to the roster has to fit smoothly into the locker room dynamic. It does become important to develop chemistry for such a team that wants to make a post-season run. Signing Elliott might be exciting, but now we have to talk about risks and rewards. Mostly, he could be football valuable for short yardage and goal line opportunities based on his experience and physicality. The other thing the Lions have to factor is what it would look like financially and how that changes what roles would look like for their other players. For now, it all remains speculation, but the idea of Elliott coming to the Lions has certainly piqued the interest of fans and analysts alike. If Detroit is in fact going to make the move, it would clearly signal that they're going all out on playoff security and a championship run. Whether or not this decision is actually made, the very fact that there has been discussion at all shows just how far the Lions have come in recent years. No longer an afterthought in the NFL, but a bona fide contender capable of attracting top-tier players. Keep your eyes on this unfolding. This is the same team that made waves by adding a handful of stars. A star like Ezekiel Elliott could be the next step in this franchise's journey to greatness. The second is about the amazing season Jared Goff is having. and the reason why he has remained a key component of the entire success of the Detroit Lions. With his 20 leads, this was the highest number for the team in their entire history as a franchise, and is absolutely sensational. This performance had earned him the chance to become the starting quarterback for the NFC in the Pro Bowl, as a rebuttal to the critics who called him into question as part of his leadership, determination, and brilliance on the field. Many would have doubted that Goff would fit in well with a team suddenly deep in the process of rebuilding, and not before long perhaps a playoff contender. His ability to lead a team that had previously fought long and hard to find consistent success was doubted. But Goff has risen to the occasion and redefined the fact that he is far more capable of being the franchise quarterback the Lions need. Goff became one of the NFL's most reliable signal callers over the past 2 seasons, but not so much so this year. He has thrown for over 4,500 yards and 28 touchdowns and has only 8 interceptions this season. His precise passing, coupled with the ability to stretch the field with the deep threats in this team, has taken the Lions' offense into one of the most prolific in the league. He is ranked among the top quarterbacks in passer rating and completion percentage, thus proving he's got the ability to make good decisions with the ball. What has stood out is the tremendous capability of Goff to throw the deep ball and use the strengths of Detroit's dynamic receiving core to its maximum advantage. Goff's ability to perform under duress has probably been one of his most important assets throughout this season. During those times when he was faced with blitzes, secured himself within a pocket collapsing in on itself, and even orchestrated game-winning drives, Goff has continued to show nothing but remarkable poise. This was aptly seen in Goff's performances in those major contests against divisional foes like the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings, games in which Goff not only played exceptionally well, but also saw to it that he came alive during clutch moments in the match. The calmness that Goff has shown sets the tone for the entire team, generating confidence in teammates and fans alike. Goff has also benefited from his chemistry with wide receivers Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. From being one of the top slot receivers in the NFL, Goff has taken full advantage of St. Brown's outstanding route running and reliable hands. Meanwhile, Williams' great speed and ability to take the top off a defense offer Goff a dynamic downfield weapon. Tight ends and running backs like Jahmyr Gibbs have also had the luxury of catching Goff's accurate passing in short and medium ranges, contributing to a varied and balanced offensive artillery. More than the numbers show, Goff does impact the Lions. He seems to have made the transition into the role of leader, gaining his teammates, coaches, and fans' trust and respect. Goff's work ethic and mental toughness have often been cited by head coach Dan Campbell as reasons for his ability to stay focused through the toughest stretches of the season. Campbell has described Goff as the heartbeat of the offense. Most of the players would agree with this statement, as they sense him to be kind of a calming influence on and off the field. Perhaps the most incredible part about Goff's reinvention in Detroit has been how he dealt with all sorts of mishaps. Trading him from the Rams may have been a significant setback for him, but Goff turned that around and used it as his driving impetus to prove himself. He has exhibited a certain degree of flexibility in adapting to the Lions system, recreating solid relationships with his peers. He seems really immersed in the success of this team. It is the change and what is happening inside him that is propelling the Lions to rebirth and towards the playoffs. All eyes will now turn to Goff under playoff lights to see if he can keep up this kind of play when it matters most. The Lions have not had great postseason play in quite some time, but Goff can change that for them. If he were able to take Detroit deep into the playoffs, maybe even the Super Bowl, it would mark his legacy as one of the best QBs in Lions history. Jared Goff's season has become a miracle for Lions fans, and maybe an affirmation of the organization's decision to go ahead and obtain him. As the team moves along in the postseason chase, during which it will try to realize its dreams, Goff's ability to produce under pressure and be a solid leader will be essential to that going well. It's nothing but clear. The future of Detroit is indeed bright, and Jared Goff is at the very center of it all. The third story is about the rookie running back Jahmyr Gibbs, a revelation this season for the Detroit Lions. Selected overall in the 2023 NFL Draft, coming into the league as the 12th overall pick, Gibbs had high expectations right from his rookie season, but has more than exceeded them in splendid fashion. Exciting, and the perfect new ingredient to add on top of a Lions offense, speed, and cutting quickness, along with playmaking ability, is what makes Gibbs one of the most fascinating young players to watch this season. Already above 1,000 all-purpose yards, fitting, as both running back born as a receiver, has proved that he is a bit more versatile. Although he takes the handoffs out of the backfield or lines up as a receiver, Gibbs is a nightmare for opposing defenses, as he has shown. One performance that ranged from average to electric was in the Lions' latest divisional win over the Chicago Bears, where Gibbs rushed for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns to display the rare combination of speed and vision that persuaded his first-round selection. His open-field capabilities in making defenders miss have invited comparisons to many of the league's most elusive running backs. However, Gibbs's aspect of distinction seems to be in the intensity of his football IQ and instinctive understanding of the game. In fact, his ability to read defenses and find holes for a rookie has been impressive. He doesn't just depend on his athleticism, he plays smart, knowing when to use his speed, burrowing through gaps, or when to shift gears and wait for blocks to develop. Such restraint is not typical for a first-year player, thus making Gibbs a shoo-in as an asset to the Lions' offense. Gibbs's breakout season has not just boosted his image, it has taken a lot off the pressure from Goff. Gibbs has been a consistent big play seam, causing defenses to pay even more attention to stopping the run and opening up opportunities for the passing game in Detroit. That way, the Lions could become a good matchup for any opponent in different game situations. His activity has opened up some skill opportunities for players like David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who get benefits from defenses forced to focus on Gibbs. For a Lions team that might advance deep in the postseason, Gibbs will no doubt be indispensable. One play from him will change the game for others and become the ultimate X factor. If he keeps playing at this level, Gibbs might be the secret to Detroit's hopes for a playoff run and even their first Super Bowl appearance. And that's a wrap for today's update on the Detroit Lions. From the possible signing of Ezekiel Elliott to Jared Goff having an incredible season and Jahmyr Gibbs breaking out as a rookie, there is a lot to look forward to as a Lions fan. Comment below to tell us how you feel about these stories, as well as the chances of the Lions making the playoffs. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell to never miss any updates. Thank you for watching, and as always, go Lions!